Hi, this is Matt from Skybow. Do you want to build powerful SharePoint solutions on your server farm, or you need to replace InfoPath forms or Nintex workflows? Then we have a great solution for you, and it's fully future-proof. There are a couple of dates that you have to consider. If you, for example, have InfoPath forms, that's one scenario that these have to be replaced by July 14 in this year, so pretty soon. And another thing that is to be replaced is also the Nintex workflows and the forms, because they are actually working on the workflow environment 2010. And yeah, those workflows, the SharePoint Designer workflows, are also out of support. And the thing is, what can you do in the future? You can migrate some of the workflows if you use the designer workflows to a new replacement SharePoint workflow manager. That's what Microsoft is saying. Or you can go to K2, which is a complete different environment, complete different workflow engine. But do you really want to build on something that might be legacy and it's not really future-proof? Because in both ways, you have to build these things like from scratch, and it might be that it will not work anymore in the future. So you have to rebuild it once again. So when you use Skybow provides a couple of options. We have option one is you can use Skybow Studio. So in Skybow Studio, the advantage of Skybow Studio is it has a full-blown application lifecycle management, which means you can build a whole solution, you can make a package of it, and everything is getting packaged, not just the forms or not just some of the actions. It includes everything. It includes the lists, the pages, permissions, and everything that is needed for a full solution. And the other good thing about it is you can use it and deploy it online and on-prem. So this way you are future-proof. If you build something and maybe you decide to go to the cloud later on, you take the same package and just deploy that one to an online environment. Those are the positive things. There are a couple of small downsides for the user. The user has to leave its known environment, so it will look a bit different. It's not directly in SharePoint, so you build it in the Skybow Studio, which is in a SharePoint Online environment. You have to build up everything in the cloud first. So if you have existing lists or existing libraries and you want to enhance those or build something on those, you have to build everything in the cloud first, make a package, and deploy back. It's also a bit more complex as well for doing the changes, because you cannot just go into it, make the change where it's in production, so to say, and do it there. So you have always to go through Studio, make the change there, make a new package, and then do an update deployment on the server. Option two is the add-ins. We have the three of them: forms, actions, and a brand new for background services, which is still in beta. It will be released pretty soon for configuring the background services like scheduled actions, triggered actions, and calculated columns, all in the background on the server directly. Those are great for small adjustments. You can give it to power users directly, so no need to train through Solution Studio. And you don't have to build everything first in the cloud, do a package, and deploy it on-prem. The downside of it, there is no ALM. So application lifecycle management like package public is not available. So you just work on, here I said on production, but it can be on test as well. Then you have to export and import the configuration to production. But you work on the existing lists, so to say. Which also means if you have to go to the cloud or you want to go to the cloud later on, you have to it's more effort to do that because there's no simple package available. You can just go and deploy somewhere in the cloud like you would with Solution Studio when you everything built online. My suggestion is, and that's how other customers are using it as well, is make a combination of both. So use Solution Studio for business apps, for more complex workflows. And this would then be done by trained users or admin users. So bigger solutions use Solution Studio, and maybe for small enhancements, ad hoc changes, very often it's just you need a simple reminder or a calculation on a certain field, but you don't want to build up everything online, then use the add-in and you can give it to the end user. So the only thing is, do not combine those two on the same site. So do not deploy a solution into a site and then on the same site install the add-ins, because that can make conflicts. Just use the add-ins in one site where you have some lists, and the Solution Studio apps should be really all in one site. So everything you do there, you should build in Solution Studio then. For the demo, I will take our contract management. That's our contract management solution. And this solution is built in Solution Studio. So I will first show the path from Solution Studio. This solution was built here in Solution Studio, somewhere on SharePoint Online. I created a package or several, as you can see already. And then I was using what we call an app registration. I have done 2 of them just to separate the test and the production environment. But you can see directly in Solution Studio, there's one deployment to a SharePoint server, which is a test site, and there's another one which is pointing to production. Right now, they both have the same version. And I'm creating these 2 different app registrations, just that I'm flexible to say, okay, in test, I want to go to version 10, and in production, I still want to keep version 9. That's why I'm doing 2 different registration. Here, I have my server environment. It's a server SE environment, and I have these 2 sites. This is my test, which is this orange one, and I have the same one in green, which is production. As you can see, it's also different content. It's really a different version. In the end, it's exactly the same as configured online. We have our forms, we have the dossier possibilities, sublists, sublibraries. Everything is there, even the background stuff, which is configured here. So for example, on the contracts, we have scheduled actions. We do have 3 scheduled actions as well. Those will work in the on-premises environment. Now, if I want to do an update to show you that one quickly, I prepared already a change in here. So just to that you can see it, how it works. On this page, I added one additional button here, this test button. Because of the time, I already created a new version, 1.10, which is having that additional button. And when I now go to my deployment definitions, the only thing for doing this update is I have to select the environment or the app registration. I can click on update, choose the new version, choose next. Just do a standard deployment for both, for new deployments and for the update, and say update. This will set the available version to 10, and now I can go ahead and download this on-prem environment package. I did that already because also that one takes some seconds, and then you have to upload. It will give you a zip file, and this one you have to upload to the server. That's what I did here. That's my zip file, which is already extracted. So this is the zip. I extract the zip file, and it contains everything you need for doing the update. The only thing you need to do is you need to run that install PS1. That's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go into that folder. And we run the install ps1. What we have to do, we have to provide the URL where we want to make the update. I want to do it on the test side. So I grab that one. Put it in here, the username. I have to provide a user that has access to that site. Here. So what it will do, it will automatically recognize that there's already an installation, and that it just needs to make the update. It will do the validation. This message here is coming because my solution online has a German language included in the package. I don't have German language pack installed on my server. That's why. I will just click on force update. Yes. And now it starts doing the update. You see it will update everything. If you did some changes, if you made... I mean, the only thing that I did is I added a new button, just that we see it will get updated. So when we go back to here, to Studio, we see it's now version 1.10. It's still in progress, but soon it will be finished. Now it's finished. If we go back, yes, we hit refresh, and now we see that new button showing up, and it works. So that's how you do an update. And of course, I could do now exactly the same when I tested it here on the production side on this one. I would just need to run the same package, the same installation, just putting in another URL, and it will also update my production site. All right, so this is all about a solution. Now, if we have a look at the add-ins, I have a separate site here. It's my Skybow add-in demo site. I have installed all of the free add-ins, and we will see them here. They're all available in the command bar of each list or library. And as you can see, we have automation actions is there to add actions to this command bar. For example, this deadline is an automation action. You can click on it and you see you can add additional actions and choose the context of them. So I'm just doing, the action builder is exactly the same as you know from SharePoint Online or from Studio, Skybow Studio. And I just do an update in that case, because I will use that one to set the deadline to today, that I can run my background reminder just afterwards. The second one is the forms add-in, that you can customize the forms. And as I said, it's all just integrated into SharePoint. So I don't leave the SharePoint environment at all. If I click customize here, I'm redirected to the edit form. I can customize it, drag and drop, add new stuff, or change the layout to maybe 3 columns. Put it over there, manager there, save. And now my edit form is already the customized form. So that's the form add-in. And last but not least is the brand new one, which is the background service add-in. If you click on that one, you see the same 3 sections that we have in Studio as well. So first is the column calculation. With this, we can make any column calculated. What I did here is I have a manager field, which is inheriting, and here are our calculation types that we have. Can be any expression, or we can inherit through a lookup, we can inherit data. That's what I did here. I have a lookup to a department list, and each department has a manager. So on the form, I just choose the department, and it will automatically give me the manager. That's what it's configured here. This will make this column manager calculated, so I don't have to show it on that form, for example. The second one is a scheduled action. Here I simply created a reminder functionality where I create on that list, I added a filter, give me everything where the deadline field is today. That's why I've built this other action to show you the deadline of today. And for all items with deadline today, I do a daily 6 o'clock, I send an email. Again, here we have the same action builder as in Studio, the background one. And I'm sending an email with some information with a link, just as an example. This is one of the most common things that people do, just doing reminders on certain dates. The other one is a triggered action. Last but not least is based on events. When an item is added and updated, or both, you can also do actions. So in that case, when an item is added to that list, I'm writing an item to another list. Just very simple scenario, but you could imagine doing much more if something is added, inform someone, or update something somewhere else, or change the permissions, all that stuff, which is not possible on client side. For example, setting permissions, you cannot do client side because most people, it's all running in the user context, and most people will not have permissions to set permissions. That's why you have to do it in the background. Using our background permission actions, you can do that with triggered actions. And for all of this, we always have a history. So let me do these three real quick. I choose, for example, these two. This one here is a list action. It will set the date of the deadline to today. So this one, now we have it today. If we now go to the background services again, I would have to wait until tomorrow 6 o'clock that it's running, but I can run it right now. So I will run it right now. We see the history. It was running for 2 items, which is correct. The 2 are just updated for today, and the email has been sent. So this is just on my server. I have this SMTP for dev, which is a simulation for emails. This is for email 1, email 2. They've been sent. I also have the link to open the item directly in the email, like this. So this works on a list. And last but not least is these calculated things, calculated column, and that an item is written into another list with a trigger action. If I do a new item here, I select the department. As you can see, I just choose the department, for example, marketing. Now, after a few seconds, and these background things, they have a little delay. But as you can see, the manager has been set already. That's quite fast. So it's coming from the marketing, because the marketing has set a manager. And if we look into the other list, for example, approval, we already have that test webinar item, which was just created seconds ago. Here. This was created by the triggered action. Now, since we have the background services available on a server, we can now cover full web workflows on SharePoint Server as well. And you don't have to do that in the cloud using Studio. But of course, in a combination, it's very powerful, because the same things from the forms, for example, or the configuration from here, you can always export and import in Solution Studio if you decide to go to a solution one day. With the skybow products, you can modernize your SharePoint apps on premises without the dependency on legacy stuff. So if you like that content, subscribe to our channel and give me a like. Thanks for watching.